Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got an exciting video. I've got a Advance Wars replay featuring me and, again, one of my favorite YouTubers to watch, Mangs. He features a lot of Fire Emblem and Advance Wars content and has inspired me to, he's one of the people that inspired me to, do YouTube even more, especially with games. Yeah, I actually got matched up in a Global League match with him last month, and I couldn't really play the match quickly because I was feeling sick and I've been busy with judo and work. So we didn't play this match, for a long. We played the match for a long time, but the match itself is fairly short. You guys will see why. However, it was a very fun match for me to play. He messaged me and he told me he had fun as well, and we played the match really well. So we'll see how I do against one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. We're fairly ranked the same. I forgot to go get the our rankings on the Advance Wars by Web, but we're fairly close to each other as far as ranking goes. Somewhere in the 1100s for both of us. And then, yeah, so let's see, can I actually change this? I'm actually going to change his country to match Von Bolt. I'm going to make him, where is it? Oh, Grace. I'm going to make him Gray Sky. That way we can differentiate who's who. Alright, so to start off, let me go ahead and show you the commanding officers we both chose. Alright, so as you guys can see, I chose Andy. Andy is my favorite commanding officer in all of Advance Wars. Biggest reason is he has no weaknesses. But at the same time, it's having no weaknesses or strengths doesn't exactly help or not help him. It depends on the map and the game situation. But as you guys can see, it says no day-to-day abilities. My favorite thing is not his power, but his superpower. His power, 3 stars, it recovers all units HP by 2, or your whole army by 20%. It's useful, but not crazy strong. I mean, just 2 HP on all your units doesn't really help you all too much. It is good for countering global damage, like Drake, Olaf, but for this in particular match, we're looking for my super, which is Hyper Upgrade, and that repairs all my HP, all my units HP by 5. Increases my attack power by extra 10% and increases all unit movement by 1, and it's only an additional 3 stars more than the my regular power. So very good superpower, and he's a tier 3, I believe, commanding officer. Yeah, so but in this matchup, I think he's also a tier 3 or tier 2, I think, in high funds. This is a high funds match. Yeah, so that's my favorite commanding officer, and I couldn't help but use him against Mangs because I wanted to show off that Andy is a great commanding officer. He chose Von Bolt. Von Bolt is a fairly good CO in almost any situation. Just like Andy, he doesn't have anything special. He does have a day-to-day bonus of 10% attack and defense, which is like phenomenal, honestly. It's one of the best in the game. Having an extra 10% attack alone is pretty good, but adding an extra 10% defense on top of it makes it hard for anybody to attack you while you're on properties or good terrain like forest. So Von Bolt, a really good choice for him. However, to me, on high funds, this is where he suffers. His superpower, it only affects a small area. As you guys can see, it says it affects a 2-range missile, dealing 3 HP of damage, and it pretty much makes all my units wait that get hit. His superpower costs 10 stars though. That's almost twice as much as my power cost, my superpower. So it's fairly expensive, and to me it doesn't exactly help him all too much. However, that's not why he chose him. I'm pretty sure he chose Von Bolt because of the fact that he gets that 10% attack and defense on a daily basis at every turn. And on this map there are 2 Contars, I believe. Wait, one. Oh, there's only one Contar, so he gets 20% attack and 10% defense as we play through this match. So making his units very strong. They hit really hard, and it's going to be really hard for me to hit his units while they're on properties. So yeah, Von Bolt, very good choice. I probably would choose somebody different, but you know, again, Von Bolt doesn't have any really big downsides other than his super isn't extremely good. Maybe if it cost a little bit less, it would have been better. But let's just go ahead. Let's hop right into the match. Now that we know who's who. So as you guys can see on the top right, I will be Punchi. That is my username on Advance Wars by Web. And then we're going to play Mangs. So we have this nice Advance Wars by Web replay viewer. I finally got it to work for some reason. I could not get it to work on any of my replays, but as you guys can see, I finally have it up and running. So we're going to go ahead and it will show you what we're doing step by step. So the beginning is going to be very simple. I think I have to click it. So let's go see. I'm going to change music here. Alright, so here we go. Match starts. So I'm going to be first player, so I will be moving first. I immediately go and capture the property that he starts with. If you guys are looking at the map, actually I forgot. In case you're new to this, as a first player, I get to move my units out first. So Mangs will start with what's called a first turn advantage. He's going to start with additional infantry on the bases where I will build infantry on my first turn. And then he will also have an extra city, which is usually the city that I will probably capture immediately. On this map, I kind of don't agree with the first turn advantage for him. I feel it's a little bit extra powerful, but at the same time, you look at the map analytics, and it's usually fairly even as far as who wins on this map. So I guess I shouldn't judge it all too much. Just like any strategy game, it's hard to balance out when it's just first player versus second player, because first player usually has an advantage of going first, but not always. So in this case, he will start with additional infantry. So I'm going to go ahead and start capturing that property, and of course I'm just going to build infantry on my first turn. So now it's his turn. He's going to also capture that property. It's a neutral one for him, and he's just going to send his infantry. He's going to go for the airport immediately in the bottom left corner. Yeah, so these first turns are going to be fairly simple. We're just going to capture properties. Nothing special. I also go for the airport and the corner cities as well. So I'm going to go fairly quickly through these first few turns. Our movements are going to be relatively the same because you know, we're just trying to capture as many properties as possible to build up our income. One thing of note, based on his turn and my turn, I went after the city towards the middle on the top. He went after his airport instead. So that's the one difference that I can see. Oh, and then his bottom left, he went after the city. On my top right, which is the mirrored side, I went for the properties in the middle. So a couple different variations, but almost the same. So already, one thing to know about Mangs is he loves battlecopters, and already this is on, what day is this? Day 3. He has a battlecopter coming out of his bottom left airport. So battlecopter really early for him, and an artillery as well. 2 artilleries, one in the middle as well, and then of course a couple more infantry. So usually when I play, I like to wait to see what my opponent builds, but this only goes for high funds and standard. I like to counter against my opponent. I don't really like to be the aggressive one. So now that he's built a couple artilleries and a battlecopter, let's see what I plan to do. So of course, just going to be capturing properties. I'm ignoring my comm tower because we're not going to take any engagements yet, and probably not for a couple more days. So the comm tower over in this top right, it gives 10% attack. It's not going to benefit me right now because even if I capture it, I get 10% attack, but we're not going to be taking any engagements. I'd rather go capture some other properties and gain some more income. That way I could build a bigger army, you know, quicker, or stronger units, and then in a couple days I'll capture it and then get the 10% attack power. So Mangs, he's capturing his immediately down here. So to me, like I said, it doesn't really benefit you to capture it immediately. You could wait a couple more turns until you guys actually start fighting. So again, we're going to capture some properties. I built 2 anti-air to counter his battlecopter, one in the middle and one on the top right or top left. And I build them here because his battlecopter will have nowhere else to go, and nothing to attack as long as I'm guarding. I also build my own battlecopter in the top right, as well as some infantry out of my other bases. So he built a battlecopter, I built a battlecopter, but I'm countering his battlecopter and his artillery too with my anti-airs. So he immediately moves his artillery up, continues to capture properties, moves his infantry. He moves his battlecopter in the middle of both directions to try and, see what I do with my anti-air, as well as try to trick me on where he's going to go. He immediately builds another battlecopter as well. Builds a tank out of the south base. Builds some more infantry on his other bases. So far, nothing really important to know, other than he's spamming battlecopters right off the bat. You should anyways, because having a numbers game helps, and you have so many bases, and having battlecopters being produced out of the airports when you can really helps your army size. So again, we're going to just be capturing properties. I go and capture this, or start capturing the city down here, because he does not have a unit in range to interrupt it, and I want to hold the city for at least a few turns to get a little extra income. He should capture the city, just as I should capture this city up here, but I went immediately for it so I can try to get some income at least before he can get it. And I'm being a little bit aggressive right here with this infantry. It's really close to his base, so it's kind of dangerous for me to try and take it, but I figure I might as well be on the city and get that extra defense against his infantry. So my battlecopter moves more to the left, and then I also build a tank in the middle, another battlecopter in the top right, and just some more infantry. Mangs' turn. He goes and captures his port, continues to capture properties. He does not interrupt this capture. Instead, he likes to go here and just guard right here. I feel like he should have attacked this infantry and kept me from capturing the city. Because in high funds, the more properties you have, you increase your income by 2k instead of just the traditional 1. If he stopped this, which he would have the advantage of having the extra attack power from his comm tower and his day-to-day ability, he would have been able to make me like a 5 maybe. So I definitely would not be able to capture the city, but he likes to go for his city instead. So I feel like that was a mistake. His battlecopter flies in the middle, away from my anti-air. But again, no matter which direction he flies, with both his battlecopters, my anti-air are there to guard him, or guard against him. He builds a medium tank out of the bottom left base. Very aggressive start from him in the bottom left. Continues to capture properties. Again, he too tries to capture this property. So, I could interrupt it, but we'll see what we do. I would be in range of his artillery if I do that. So he builds more infantry, and then so now it's my turn. So I go ahead and capture the port, the airport. I finally capture my comm tower. This is 3 days later. So again, we have not even attacked each other yet, and I just captured my comm tower. So I was maybe 1.5 days of income I get from another city so far, like this one, compared to him not having captured this one. Instead, he went for the comm tower. So that alone will give me a couple extra, maybe 4,000 funds over him. I capture his city, or the city down here, capture the city as well, so I'm really happy that I got those. And I do interrupt his capture up here. I figure, 2k extra income a day is worth me interrupting, so I go ahead and do so. He doesn't have any anti-air on this side yet, and my battlecopter is ready to attack both sides. I move up my infantry a lot, trying to use my numbers game against him. He only has one base. Right now I have this base producing infantry. I'm going to have battlecopters coming this way, so I'm just trying to outnumber him. I go ahead and interrupt this cap as well. Again, it's not a very favorable matchup for me, as we both become a 7, but he has a higher attack power. However, I want to try and prevent him from getting income, because each one is 2,000. So I want to keep my anti-air out of range of his tank over here. So I move it back, and to protect against the battlecopter. And again, he has nothing over here yet to engage my anti-air, so I just move it as far forward as possible. I build a medium tank to counter his medium tank, as well as this guy over here. Build a tank in the top right, an artillery in the top left, and another infantry. Mangs' turn rolls in, he destroys my infantry, moves his injured infantry back, and attacks my weakened infantry. So right now he's winning in this area right here. That's okay. I'm not too afraid of that right now. He builds an anti-air, which is good for him. I only have infantry right now, and I only have battlecopters coming in, so it's a good counter against me. Builds a battlecopter down here, probably to counter mine that's coming in this way. Starts to capture over here, moves his artillery up a little closer, moves the medium tank to the right, probably to engage my ground vehicles this way. Tank attacks, infantry, and then he tries to go for the capture here. And again, I capture this city, even though technically it is close to his base, so he can easily interrupt it. But every day that I hold these two cities is an extra 2k income each, so that's why I went straight for them. He decides to use this infantry to attack here, which he should, because he's not going to be able to capture it in just 2 days. What did he just do? He built a T-copter. I know you guys can't see it right now, but he built a T-copter in this bottom left corner. Moves his battlecopter towards the middle. Captures over here, moves his infantry, builds an anti-air as well, because again, I only have battlecopters and a couple of infantry moving out right now, so he builds an anti-air to counter the battlecopters. Builds some more infantry. So this battlecopter moves down and engages my infantry. I was a bit surprised by this, because my anti-air is right here. Anti-air is worth 8,000, his battlecopter is worth 9,000, so I was actually very surprised he attacked me. So yeah, I immediately capture a city, I weaken this infantry even further, and I go over here and destroy his battlecopter, because I'm willing to risk 8,000 funds worth of a unit for his 9,000, as well as battlecopters have more freedom to move around the map. My anti-air is strictly stuck to the ground and, is mostly good against air. His battlecopter is more valuable to me than my anti-air, so I was happy to do that. Move my medium tank up here to threaten his tanks down here. I ignore him capturing my city and go for his tank. Mostly because I might as well get the first shot. If my units get weakened, I could just retreat them back and use Andy's hyper upgrade to repair them up. I don't know what he's doing down here. He has no tanks to guard against my anti-air, so I go ahead and freely, go for the capture and attack his infantry. Move more infantry down. Move the artillery, it's out of range of the battlecopter. And then over here, I'm going to move the infantry towards the middle. I want to try to keep my infantry alive as long as possible. If I can get them back to a 5, use my hyper upgrade, then I can get them back to full HP. And we're going to play a little cautious now, because I really can't win against these guys. They have the terrain advantage. And I'm going to move the tank down here to counter against this anti-air and the infantry. I keep my battlecopter out of range of his battlecopter, but also in the middle, so I can either go left or right, engage whatever I want. Same thing with this one. I built another anti-air to replace the one I'm about to lose. That way I can guard my ground units over here. Build a tank in the top right. Another battlecopter. Battlecopter over here as well. Another tank over here in the top. And more infantry on the left side. Alright, so Mangs' turn rolls in. He, of course, is going to destroy my anti-air, because why wouldn't he? It's worth it for him. Captures this city. Starts to capture this one. And he's going to go move in to protect his artillery, so that way he can shoot anything that targets that infantry. Also moves his anti-air up, because I have nothing to counter it right now. Builds another anti-air, because you can see that I'm building a lot of infantry and battlecopters. Captures the city. Moves his infantry into the T-copter. I already know what he's going to do with this T-copter. It's kind of a common thing that he likes to do. He likes to go for these small island properties, this one, to try and get that extra 2k income every day. So I already know that he wants this city. That's why he built this T-copter. I'm pretty sure. Now, is that what he's thinking? Who knows? Builds a tank and a battlecopter in this bottom left corner. Then he's going to move over here. He's going to move his infantry and his anti-air up, making kind of a wall. He builds a mech, which I was fairly surprised by. They only move 2 spaces per turn, so there's not really going to see much combat, for like, what, 5-6 days at least. So I was very surprised by this mech. He goes over here, destroys my infantry, retreats the tank to get recovered. So to me, that was a victory in itself, because he's going to use funds to recover this tank, whereas I could use my power to recover my tank, so that alone was a victory. Kills my infantry, moves his other infantry up, moves the battlecopter to the left, and continues to build more tanks down here. Moves his infantry here, guards his infantry with the artillery. Battlecopter moves even more to the middle. I'm unsure what this guy's trying to do here. I mean, he threatens a lot of units, but I have anti-air to guard against him, so not sure what he's planning. So my turn rolls in. I capture the cities down here. Go ahead, go in this one. The only thing that can threaten me is this infantry, which I don't think he can. I mean, if he wants to attack me, I'll just kill the infantry. This battlecopter could also attack it, but that would be bad because then I could kill his battlecopter for free. So I want to see what he does. I'm actually going to say, hey, come attack my artillery, then I can kill his battlecopter, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to do that. Medium tank gets a free shot on this infantry, which is nice to see. Again, I'm going to move this tank back to safety behind the medium tank, but here to support it. Move my anti-airs, protect them from his tank and his medium tank over here. I move my battlecopter here as well. It's in range of my anti-air. So if he wants to attack my battlecopter, mine won't die, but I could one-shot his. And as long as my units are alive, I can repair them later. I continue to build another battlecopter as well. Capture some more properties. I'm going to move this battlecopter this way. Move my tank to the middle because I can see he's building anti-air, so I definitely need some tanks here. Again, I'm going to interrupt these caps because I want to get that income advantage. Every day that I keep him from capturing more properties, the less money he will gain. I get a free shot on infantry over here. He has nothing to counter against my tank, so this is really good. Move my battlecopter to the middle now, away from his copter and out of range of his anti-air. So this is kind of, I'm just kind of shifting my battlecopter from this side where it's useless over to this side where it can be useful. Again, this one's also going to stay in between so I can attack if I want to. I continue to build another medium tank. If you guys don't know this, my favorite ground unit is the medium tank. It's not the Neo, it's not an anti-air or artilleries. I love all the units, but the medium tank to me, especially when I'm Andy, is my favorite because of its pretty good defense against almost any ground unit, and it has pretty good attack power, being able to one-shot a lot of units while they're on zero defense terrain. So I will be, continue to build medium tanks a lot. Build a tank up here, tank in the right base as well, and more infantry on this side. This side over here, I'm going to be building artillery and anti-air and infantry only, because this side I wanted to just play defense, so I can spend more money on other parts of the map. So as long as I have infantry around to block tanks or battlecopters against my artilleries, then I don't have to worry about building anything big like a medium tank on this side. So Meng's turn rolls in. Go back. Okay, so Meng's turn rolls in. He's going to move his mech forward, moves his infantry around, builds a battlecopter and a tank on this side. He goes over here, moves his battlecopter up, starts capturing the city over here, starts to capture the city that I've had for like almost 3 days now, so that's already 6k income I'm getting. Loads his transport copter and immediately goes for this city like I knew he would. Medium tank goes onto the city. This is going to be hard to attack into because it has three defense stars, and he gets a daily 10% extra defense. So this is like being on an HQ. Moves his artillery here and has infantry guarding the infantry. Artillery is guarding the infantry and medium tank here. Very nicely played. Starts to capture this city because there's nothing I can do about it. So right now he's capturing 1, 2, 3 cities, and he's also going to threaten this one. He's trying to get an income advantage. Right now he's a little bit behind, so that's good for me because I went and got this city early, this city, I even got this city, so I got some cities that he has not yet acquired. Goes over here, attacks my infantry from the city, gives him some good opportunities to damage my infantry so I can't capture. Retreats his anti-air because he sees my tanks coming. Moves his battlecopter over here so I can't reach it with my anti-air. I don't know why he puts this infantry on the city. I guess just to block, but I don't think it really matters to me. Moves his tank over here off the city so I can put a new one on this one. I would have kept it there and repaired it up to full, but whatever. He moves his infantry back to repair again over here. Moves his tank up, but to me that's okay, because as long as I have an infantry blocking my artillery, I will be okay. He cannot one-shot me on planes, so that's the good thing. Moves his battlecopter back away from mine. Builds a medium tank in the middle. Builds a tank in the bottom left. Builds infantry here. Again, moves his infantry a little bit more. And now it's my turn. So I'm looking here. My superpower will be coming in about, well, I need just over 3 stars. So this is good news for me. And I'm looking at the field, I'm like, could I get my super? Maybe? So we'll see what we do. Go ahead and capture the city. Nothing to threaten it other than an Empire if he wants to, which I don't think he will because I have a tank here. Go ahead and get the shot on the infantry again. Nothing can threaten my tank right now, so to me this is a free shot. Kill the infantry. Same thing with this guy. His medium tank's out of range, so I get to kill this guy for free. So in this match we both kind of gave each other a lot of free infantry to kill. So we both kind of played that pretty bad. I'm going to capture the city over here. Again, another free shot with my tank because his mech is out of range, it moves too slow, and his tank is also out of range. So another free shot on his infantry. That's 1,000 funds from 5 and 6 that I've taken away from him for free. Infantry goes and starts capturing the city. Being a little bit cheeky, I don't think I'll ever get it, but I thought I might as well try. Move my tank up, move my battlecopter away from range from his anti-air. Battlecopter again, staying in the middle, being annoying. That way he, has to think about it. Move my battlecopter straight down. Even though it's in range, I'm okay with him attacking me first. My priority is to stop him from capturing this city. As long as it's damaged, his infantry cannot capture the city easily. And again, my anti-air is just going to be here to guard my artillery. I'm going to move my infantry in a way that he can't attack them with his tank unless he wants to get hit. So he can try if he wants to. I move this tank down this way instead of going this way because it looks like he's playing defensive. So I decided to move my tank over here instead to support this built-up army of units here. I start to go for this city. Seems like a free one that I can gain. As you guys can see, I currently have a capture lead, so me capturing these additional cities is going to benefit me even more. I move this guy this way. I probably should have just had him go that way, but it doesn't matter. I move my medium tank back because he has an army growing here and I don't want to get struck too hard. Move my anti-air safely away from his tanks. Move my tank behind my stronger units here. I build a fighter. This fighter will be guarding my battlecopters right now. As you guys can see, the movement is really large. So yeah, I might go ahead and attack my battlecopter. My battlecopter won't die in one shot, so my fighter can again one-shot his copter and I'll be able to repair it up. A third medium tank in the middle for me right here. I mean, I love my medium tanks, as you guys can see, and you'll see why I love them. Here comes my artillery in the top right. This guy for sure is going to be playing a defensive role. Build some more infantry, and I move my copter over here towards the middle, and I end my turn. Day 9 from Mangs comes in. He captures the city. That this is like what, 5-6 days I've had this city, and he finally captures it. I mean, that's just so much more income that I just been sapping away from him. Captures the city. Decides he can't capture the city, so he moves his T-copter over here to block my tanks, and decides to move up his artilleries. He does take the bait. He attacks my copter. My copter's alive, and now my fighter can go and kill his copter for free. I was very shocked that he actually let me do that. Moves this medium tank here. Moves up damaged infantry to block his artilleries. Moves up the tank onto the lab, so this is going to be very hard to kill. Moves up his infantry, his tanks. So he's really balling up his units here, trying to force me to, either retreat and give up my base, or, hit him head on and risk damaging my units. So a little scary. He is locking down my base right now with his artillery. But I'm not too afraid of it yet because artilleries do a decent amount of damage, but not crazy ton. We'll see what I do to counter. He builds his fighter down here in the bottom left corner airport. As you can see, I have a fighter, so he wants to counter it. However, I still get to hit his battlecopter for free because this is as far as the fighter moves. So I can't cover this guy. Moves his battlecopter over here. Engages the infantry like I knew he would because he doesn't want me getting another city. And again, he's going to use his infantry to block. His mech is finally near my tank, but I just move it one more and more tile up, and again, he won't be able to hit it. Alright, so he continues to play defensive here as well. Builds a battlecopter. What did he just do? I have no idea what his last move was, but that's okay. Oh, he built a tank right here in his bottom right base. I was like, what? I don't know what he's doing. Build some more infantry. Moves his artillery back here in the middle. Moves his medium tank up a little bit. Builds another infantry. Anti-tires are guarding against his artillery. And again, he's moving back because he can see that there's not much point in moving forward here, which is good for me because that means I'm going to be able to capture these cities. All right, so day 10 rolls in. It's now my turn. I'm really close to my super. I have just over 2 stars to gain. So I'm thinking to myself, look, I just got a couple more properties. This is nice. Right, so again, I've retaken the income lead. He is threatening this city though, which would switch it. However, I want to start capturing this city, which is really nice. I'm going to again move these guys down here to protect the artillery. I decide to kill his infantry with my tank. Use my tank to kill his weakened infantry, which allows my medium tank to come in and one-shot his artillery. My medium tank also moves in, one-shots the artillery. And instead of attacking the infantry, I'm going to go ahead and hit his medium tank. Because with this medium tank damage, there's nothing to threaten my other 2 full power medium tanks except for his battlecopters, and my 7 is pretty strong against his surviving tank right now. Move this battlecopter away. Again, any units you can keep alive as Andy, very valuable because you can repair them with hyper upgrade. Fighter comes straight in, kills the battlecopter. Love to see that. I go ahead and strike his battlecopter again. His fighter not in range of mine, my battlecopter, so he can't kill it. He has to use this battlecopter to kill it if he wants to destroy it. So I was happy to do that. So now only this battlecopter can engage my medium tanks and actually do any damage. So this area, there's nothing threatening my medium tanks. 0. And that's why I built these guys. And if they get damaged, as long as they're alive, my hyper upgrade will bring them back to full HP. Anti-air comes back towards the middle. I go ahead and engage his infantry here. I know I'm in range of his anti-air, but I'm actually okay because I'm going to go ahead and guard the battlecopter. So now the only thing that can attack me is this tank and some infantry. This anti-air could attack too, but I'm not really afraid of it. I just want to keep my battlecopter alive. Move my artillery down here. Move the infantry back. This artillery is mostly here to guard against him capturing the city. Move the infantry down. Battlecopter comes in the middle to support. This again, Battlecopter being a little bit of an annoying presence for him to decide, you know, oh, I don't know, he doesn't know what I'm going to do with it. However, this was my mistake. I should have moved it up here, because now there's nothing for that's threatening his medium tank if he moves up this way. So that was my mistake. I realized it after I did this turn, or after I made that movement. So what I did, I built a medium tank, another medium tank, on the top right to counter his ground units over here, because again, nothing can kill my medium tank right now. And then over here I built a rocket. Now, I remember watching Mangs cover a match a long time ago on this map, and he said that someone built a rocket, I think it was out of this base, and it was a bad idea because it takes a while for this rocket to either go down this way to help here, or go this way through all this terrain and support this way. However, I mostly have infantry and small tanks here. I don't really need a bigger army, and so what I'm going to do is move this rocket to the right and slowly threaten him going this way, so that way his medium tank cannot attack my units for free. So moving on, I go ahead and build another artillery onto the left side and an entire in the middle, because he's got infantry, copters in the way, and I need entire to clear them out. Also, it kind of threatens his fighter, so he can't just move freely around my land. So that's good. And so now it's Mangs' turn. Goes and captures that city, so now he can see he has the capture lead and I have lost it, but that's okay with me. He does attack this Battlecopter, which is good for him. You know, he got a kill and his copter is alive. But like I said, the more copters that I damage, the less units that can threaten my medium tanks. So he goes ahead and hits the medium tank back, attacks the tank here. He attacks my medium tank with his tank. I honestly don't know why he did this. He used oh, that's probably why. He wanted to get Ex Machina, which will disable my units here. Look at this. Not only did I take 3 points of damage on all my units there, I cannot build out of this base next turn, and all my units are hurt. So this, I can't even use these units this next turn. So a pretty effective Ex Machina. I didn't even calculate it. I honestly thought he was going to retreat and maybe get it next turn, but he went ahead and used it this turn by suiciding this tank here, getting a couple other engagements. So I was very surprised. But he continues, gets his luck roll with his infantry on the tank, so good for him. Tank attacks here, uses the anti-air to attack as well, destroying my tank. But I don't mind because my copter is still alive. Goes ahead and finishes this capture because he knows if I use my hyper upgrade, I'll be able to capture the city. And then proceeds to, you know, make a wall here with his units. Moves another tank up. So now this side's looking a little bit threatened as I don't have anything to counter all these units. Moves his Battlecopter over here. Moves another Battlecopter to the left. Seeing that I have nothing to counter his medium tank, he moves in directly, starts to threaten my infantry that's capturing here. Goes for the luck roll, he gets it, 1-1, so lucky him. Fighter moves straight over to the middle over here. Out of range of my fighter, so I can't hit him, and it guards all his units here, so including his Battlecopters. So to me, good play by him. You know, it forces me to play defensive with my fighter. That means I can't move in and kill his copters unless I want to get hit first. He moves his infantry over, moves in the tank, attacks my medium tank that's hurt and disabled. Copter moves in and attacks the tank as well. So my medium tank's taking a beating, but again, that's 1, 2, 3 tanks that just attacked this medium tank. I'm still alive, and his super hit me too. So medium tanks are very useful units. Infantry are moving in, moves T-Copter back to pick up a new guy. Infantry keep moving forward. Now he's moving it forward again because his medium tank is leading the way. His artillery is protected as long as he has infantry and anti-air around here. Builds a Battlecopter again. A lot of Battlecopters from Mangs. Builds another Battlecopter at the bottom left. Anti-air in the bottom right. I was a bit surprised by that. I don't think he needs 2 anti-air here. But he did build one. He built another anti-air here as well. Seeing that I have, you know, 1, 2, 3 Battlecopters in this area. Builds a tank in the bottom left base as well. Builds a mech, another mech in the middle. I don't know why he keeps building mechs. This one's not too bad because it's a short distance to go up here. This one I wasn't sure about, but I don't know. Okay. Day 11 rolls in. So again, my units are forced to wait this turn because of his Ex Machina, which means I cannot build out of this base here. But I'm actually okay with it, as you guys are about to see. I don't pop my super yet, and you guys will see why. I take this engagement here, lose 5 HP on my attacking this mech, but I at least took 2 HP off of his. Kill an infantry here. I go and attack this infantry again, going down to 5 HP. He stays at 7, but I damaged his infantry while I could. Same thing with this one. Take some damage back. Then I pop my hyper upgrade, so I can get these infantry back up to full, as you guys can see. So now, these medium tanks, almost back to full health again. This tank that was here, that got hit by his tank, back up to 9 HP, more than his. This tank was my damaged one, I think. Was a 4 earlier, also up to a 9. Battlecopter, that was a 1, back up to 6. So, hyper upgrade, really useful power. And as you guys can also go over here, right before I use my super, I have 174,000 to his 200,000 unit value. Pop my hyper upgrade, automatically gives me a nice like 30,000. So now I have a value lead over him, and my turn is barely just getting started. Anti-air comes in, kills the infantry here. Battlecopter comes in, attacks the tank here, damaging it even further. Fighter comes in, kills the Battlecopter. So now his fighter can attack my fighter for free from the left side, right? He can also attack my Battlecopter, but that would be bad because I have anti-air here. But you guys will see what I'm about to do to counter that. Copter attacks the tank. Tank kills the tank. Again, nothing's really threatened my air units other than this guy, which isn't, you know, too scary, and then his fighter. Move the artillery down because he only has 2 tanks here, so I'm going to protect my artillery with a wall of infantry. And if he wants to attack me, bring it, because my artillery are going to damage his tanks, and that's 1,000 infantry, or do like 5 to 6 damage to his 7,000 worth tank. So I'm happy to trade for that. I move this infantry down here. I have no infantry here, and I only have 1 base, which constantly needs to produce vehicles to defend against Mangs. So I bring this infantry down to help capture some properties when I clear him out. Again, I'm going to go for that capture, because in order for him to stop this, he has to go through here, or use his medium tank to stop it. And go and threaten his city, because I might as well. Move my tank here, one-shot the 8 infantry, and I get a hit onto his artillery. I'm very happy with this, because now his artillery that can attack my tank is damaged and will do very minimal damage next turn. Move my rocket again. His medium tank can only move up to the city, so my rocket is perfectly safe. But I will put this infantry here, so he has to go through another guy just to reach it. So that's safe. Medium tank moves in again. Nothing here to threaten this guy. I love medium tanks so much. Infantry goes on the mountain to defend here. I move my tanks back now and my copters away, because there's no point in me attacking these units because I don't have the army to do it. So now again, I'm playing a defensive role, keeping him contained and unable to capture these 2 properties. As you guys can see, I have these 2 properties already, so big advantage for me there. And again, I'm currently down on the what's it called, capture value right now, but that's okay. So remember this fighter? He can get a free shot with his fighter from the city, or the C tile right here, and I can't do anything about it. But I build, ta-da, an amazing carry. Look at the attack range on this unit. It perfectly covers my fighter and my battlecopters, so he cannot use his fighter unless he wants to lose it himself. And again, as Andy, if I have a damaged unit, I can repair it back, just like these tanks and copters. So if his fighter attacks me, I think it only does like 6 or maybe 7 points of damage, and you know, I'll be a 3 and he'll be like a 8 or a 9, but I will be able to kill it this next turn, and then my fighter can retreat, wait until I get my super again, and then it will be back in action for free. So bam, care worth what, 30,000 I think, right? 30,000 funds, but to protect my fighter, well worth it. I build a tank in the top right, build a tank in the top middle, and an infantry over here. Again, all I need down here is infantry. Mang's turn rolls in. He is currently down on value. You know, I'm winning by what, like 70,000? So I have a pretty good lead, even though he has the income lead. But it is his turn now, and he is second player. Attacks my infantry here while being on the city. I think he thought maybe his city defense will help him, you know, against my artillery, so he took the shot anyways. Kind of a foolish option in my opinion. Moves his medium tank back to recover. Moves his tanks back to recover on the cities. Battlecopter moves towards the middle. Anti-air moves towards the middle. He's feeling the pressure now because again, there's nothing threatening my medium tanks, and I have a couple anti-air to deal with his battlecopters, so he has to be careful. Battlecopter moves this way. Counter my medium tanks, he builds a Neo. He should have built this sooner, but here it is now, finally. And I'm like, oh dang, okay, now that's going to be trouble, right? So I have to be careful of that. Moves more units towards the middle. Builds a battlecopter in the bottom left airport. Builds a battlecopter in the bottom right airport. Again, Mangs loves his battlecopters. Builds a tank in the bottom left base. Medium tank stops me from capturing his city here. Again, I don't have anything to attack this medium tank, so whatever it attacks is doing it for free. Kills a couple more infantry here. Mech moves up, artillery goes in the middle to get some, more shots on if I want to attack him. Builds more infantry here. Threatens the lab. In order for me to lose by capture, he has to capture this lab as well, these two right here. So I'm not too worried about him capturing this because he needs to capture this one, and it's going to be a long time before he even gets close to capturing this one. So I'm not afraid of that. Again, he's moving his infantry in front to block against his other units here. But he made the biggest mistake, and the mistake that's going to cost him the match. I'm spoiling it right now. This right here is the reason why he quits. Right here. He moves his fighter in range of my carrier. It was a big accident. He messaged me that he moved it. He didn't know what he was doing, and he moved it here, thinking it's protected from my anti-air and my fighter. But he didn't take into account of the fact that I built this carrier, because it's not often you face a carrier, and the carrier has a huge attack range, as you can see. It covers like half the map, and so this right here was the dagger for him. Waits his battlecopter. Yeah, he's going to move his all his units over here. Builds another tank. Anti moves over here. Walls up his units here. And now it's my turn. And this will be, I think, my last turn of this game. Day 12. I destroyed his fighter one shot right off the bat. I probably could have ended my turn here, and he would have been like, oh, that was GG. Because now, nothing can threaten my fighter, except for this anti-air. But I can get a free shot on his copter over here. I can go threaten this airport so he can't build anything out of it. There's just so many things I can do now that his fighter is dead. But I'm going to play through this turn anyways. I do 4 points of damage with this artillery. Again, I don't know what he was kind of thinking with this guy. But I'm just going to replace that infantry with another infantry. Just keep building up this wall. The artillery blocks all the way over here as well. Now I have 2 of them guarding. So there's no way he's going to be able to kill my units here. Kill infantry. Again, I have nothing to kill these vehicles right now, so I just full retreat and use my rocket to defend against the medium tank. Defending the rocket with my tanks and infantry. And then I go and have a little bit of fun here. Anti-air comes and attacks infantry, weakening it, so my 5 copter can kill. Use the medium tank to finish off his, so he can't recover. Medium tank one-shots infantry on the shoal. Fighter comes and kills a battlecopter. He could use this anti-air if he wants, but again, it won't kill in one shot. It'll probably bring it down to a 2 or a 3. I retreat it, use hyper upgrade, and it'll be back in action again. And again, every time you damage your opponent's units, they get the full value to their co-power. If he attacks this fighter, I'm going to get like 2 whole stars towards my super. So meaning I'm going to get my super really quick. I go and kill another battlecopter. So 2 copters dead. His medium tank is dead. Move the battlecopter and attack his infantry here. Put my tank on the lab to attack an infantry. Nothing can threaten this tank. His battlecopter, his anti-air can go over here and kill this copter if he wants to. But that's okay, I'll be able to kill it next turn. Go ahead and attack his tank here, because this copter is out of range. If he wants to attack this copter, I could use my copters or my fighter to kill it. And so, as you guys can see, especially with the values, I haven't even built units yet. I have a huge advantage now, especially killing that fighter. I built a rocket here because he's got a Neo tank coming in order to defend my medium tanks against that. Rocket's a perfect solution. I could have built my own Neo tank as well, but I wanted to make sure I could build units elsewhere. So I built a Neo over here to counter his medium tank, as well as be able to lock down the space if I can get it over there. Build another tank over here because I want to start, advancing towards the space. I will need other units besides artillery and infantry. And then I build another infantry in the top right. And Mangs resigns when he comes back and realizes he lost his fighter here. Yeah, so I was very happy with this. Let's see. Put Andy's name on. But yeah, actually, what's this? We'll put my Summersong on. Yeah, so I was very happy with this result. Again, if Mangs, if you ever see this video, I apologize that this match drew on for over a month, for 12 days of gameplay. I was sick. busy at work, busy doing judo, so I apologize if, you know, maybe, I know you like playing fast-paced games, so taking long turns and thinking out strategies, not your best for you know, thing, but thank you for playing this match. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I made some mistakes that you capitalized on, but of course, that's part of Advance Wars, right? We always try to capitalize on each other's mistakes, and that's how you're going to win the matches. You know, some of the best in the world, they make mistakes too, and that's how you're going to beat them. I was a little worried right here because he has, you know, medium tanks and anti-tires to counter me, but luckily, with my hyper upgrade, I could save on building new units like right here and over here, and I was able to build more power units. Rocket, Neo, Carrier, 3 medium tanks in this area. Medium tank over here, a lot of copters. I built this fighter before he did. You know, I got to build more power units and keep them alive with Andy's superpower. So definitely against Von Bolt, who doesn't have a good superpower, this was the right matchup for me. And especially on a big map like this where I get to repair everybody at the same time. Von Bolt's power, he did have a very good power here. Blocked my base for a whole turn, damaged my units, killed a medium tank, but it just wasn't enough. And of course the dagger, he lost his fighter to my carrier. That right there pretty much ruined it for him. But yeah, had lots of fun with this. I was so excited when I got matched up with him. I was like really happy because I wanted to test my skills against him. I'm never able to watch him live when he does his Advance Wars by Web live matches. I would love to play against him in one of those situations on stream, but I never get there on time. I'm always late or watching the video, you know, the next day. So I was very happy to be able to play him in this fashion on an official match. So very happy to play this match. Hope you guys enjoyed this as well. I know my brother was looking forward to seeing this as well. He plays you know, a little bit here and there, not as much Global League, but he does like playing the public matches. But again, I love using Andy, and I feel like he is one of the best commanding officers in the game. He could pretty much go toe to toe with almost everybody, except for like the very top tier commanding officers. But yeah, this map pretty fun to play. I recommend if you guys want to just play a public match or anything, you want to play against me or just make one for fun, this map is pretty fun to play on. There's just so much you can do. Lots of air units, lots of ground units. You could build battleships or carriers to help lock down your you know, certain areas on the map. It's really fun to play this map. So hope you guys enjoyed this Advance Wars replay, and I will see you guys in the future with more Advance Wars replays that I, you know, can feature people on, whether it's other YouTubers or if it's just a match I'm really excited about. And you know, stay tuned for more Advance Wars content. I'm going through all the Advance Wars campaigns right now. I'm currently going through both. I finished the normal mode, going through the hard mode, also doing the war room with random commanding officers. So look at those videos if you haven't already. After those, I'll be going to Advance Wars 2, doing the exact same thing. Eventually, maybe Dual Strike, but I have to get a different. I have to play it differently than the Advance Wars 1 and 2, because Advance Wars 3 is not on Switch, so I cannot play it through there. Let's go ahead and change the music really quick. Yeah, so I cannot play it through there. But yeah. And then I'm also uploading Fire Emblem. Sacred Stones run going on right now. If you guys have not checked it out, please check it out. It's going to be posting like every couple days. And yeah, if you guys are interested, you want to play me on Advance Wars by Web, please send me an invite or a message saying that you want to play. I'll be happy to accept any public matches. My name is Punchi, Punchi. If you guys want to face me on Advance Wars by Web, let me know. I'm always free to play. Not always free to do it like live or, you know, right after every single day, as I am a little bit busy, but I will try to play at least once a day or once every other day, depending on, you know, the time of the day. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you guys in the next video. Please check out all my Advance Wars content, and I will see you guys for another replay soon, I promise. Alright, bye-bye.